Hey everybody, Brian. Today I am working on a project for my belt pouch. There's something that I've carried for a while as one of my primary tools, which should be no surprise since I'm a leather worker. I always carry an awl. Now, the one that I carry is fantastic. I love it. I've had it for a long time. It's this one. It's got the adjustable bit, or replaceable rather, bits that go into it. And I have this little kit that I made out of a piece of bamboo. I just made a stopple that goes in the end of it. And among other things, I've got some fishing hooks and I've got some needles and a lot of various sharp pointy things. I've got two different bits. I've got just the regular smooth sharp bit, and then I've got the more wide bladed cutting bit. And that works really well, and I'm not unhappy with it. I really am happy with what it can do. However, one of the things that I'm working on is building up my more traditional style kit for my Middle Earth Ranger impression, which I've talked about and you're going to hear a lot more about. Lucky you guys. Sorry. So this fits pretty well. It's just a little cordage container with the needles inside of it. The line itself, this is actually tarred nylon line. It's not perfect, but if I were to replace this with some hemp or jute cord, it would work. And for now, I'm gonna go with it. But this is a little bit obvious. That knurled grip there and the screw, So, love it, doesn't work for what I'm doing. And in the spirit of using whatever I have lying around, I came up with this. So at my last job, I was working on a project and I broke a little round file. Let me see that. I've had this thing for 5 years or so. And I was going through my scrap bowl, just kind of looking to see what I had steel-wise that I could use to make an awl bit. And I pulled this out and I thought, well, that's just perfect, because the end already had a taper on it, right? A 4-way taper. And the other side here, where the file was, it's round, so it'll fit straight into a drilled hole. And it's got grooves in it, which means I don't have to rough it up whenever I'm gluing it. It's already going to hold that glue really, really well. So what I've done with it, the first thing I did was I took a file to the corners on that, and I broke it down, so going from 4 sides to 8 sides. Then I took some sandpaper and just slowly polished it smooth. So of the 2 bits that I had on the other one, I had just the sharp bit, and then I had the bladed bit. I went with just the sharp bit instead of going for one of the bladed bits. One of the advantages of that, and one of the reasons that I wanted, if I could just have one, the reason I wanted this one, is if I'm working on heavy canvas or something like that, and I'm pre-punching a hole to sew, the bladed one's gonna cut those fibers, whereas this is gonna work in between them, and it's gonna leave me with a stronger end product. And with a thinner leather, this is also gonna have that same effect. It's gonna push the fibers apart and enlarge the hole, versus just cutting through it and potentially creating a tear. So the next thing I did was I just kind of, again, going through my scrap pile, I found an old piece of crepe myrtle that I'd cut for a walking stick, and again, this is very, very, very well dried and seasoned. And I just shortened it, tapered the ends here, smoothed it. There's actually a section right here. You can see that. Some powder post beetles had gotten into it and bored under the bark. And when I started to sanding it, I exposed that little gallery there. And I thought that was cool. And I wanted to leave it in there because I like that imperfection. It makes it look less manufactured, in my opinion. So I just kind of smoothed it so it wouldn't be rough on the hand. I've already drilled the hole there. So this is just going to fit down in there. I'm not going to shove it in there all the way yet because I haven't put the glue on it yet. But that's basically what the end product's going to look like, except this hole is actually about that deep. So what am I going to glue it with? Again, keeping with the traditional-ish theme, I'm going to use ferrule type. I use this for my arrowheads, And I've used it on arrow nocks before, though normally I use built-in nocks. I don't actually use detachable nocks. So we're just going to heat some of that up. I'm just going to put a little bit on the end here, and then I'm going to heat it again, and I'm going to shove it down in there as far as it'll go, and then we'll be done with that. So to assist with that, I brought out just a scrap piece of 2x4. That'll give me something to drive the point into while I am pushing that home, as it were. Little on the windy side today. Be careful with this stuff, because if it starts to melt and you get it on your hands, it'll burn the crud out of you. So I just get it a little bit liquid. You can see I'm kind of rolling it like spaghetti around the end there. Now, got a nice blob of glue on the end. That's already cool. Set it off to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and take my block, set my spike down in there. So the goal now is to heat this, get it liquid, and then push this down on as quickly as I can. So I'm going to readjust the camera so y'all can actually watch that process, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're set up. We've got our block with our spike with the glue on it. We have this ready to go on. See, the glue's hardened around the edge there. We've got a little bit of our file section sticking out still, which I don't hate. So yeah, let's readjust back up. I'll be right back. Alright, so there's our finished project right there. Got it glued in. It fits in my hand pretty well. It's not overly long, so I still have plenty of control over it, and it's large enough back here that I can actually get that into the heel of my hand and guide it and get it in. So now that that's on there, I'm just going to sharpen the tip up a little bit more, make a little sheath for it, and that'll be ready to go in the pouch. So thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you guys again soon on my next video.